Hey YouTube, it's me. I'm back with another video. So I wanted to come back and tell you how many embryo or eggs we got. Wait a minute, I'm jumping ahead. But I want to tell you how many eggs that we got from retrieval. So when I woke up from retrieval, I remember the doctor coming in that did my retrieval. My doctor, he did not rather do my retrieval. It was another doctor. So she came in and she said something about 11 eggs. And I was like, 11 eggs? Wait a minute. At our appointment just 2 days ago, we had 48 follicles. So I'm trying to figure out, how do we get from 48 to 11? What did you guys do wrong? But at that point I had just woke up and I was still kind of on that medication. So I was like, oh, I can't deal with this. Let me just go back to sleep, because I was so disappointed. And so towards the end of my stay there, the embryologist came in. That's really who matters, because they deal with the eggs. So she came in and she was like, hey, I didn't want to keep you waiting. I just wanted to give you the report or the update as far as what we have. She said, we still are going through your eggs to see how many we got. She said, as of now, we have 28. She said, as of now, we have 28. Yeah, as of now we have 28. She said we still have some to go through to see what the total count was, but she said it's just taking a while because you had so many and we're still going through them. She said sometimes with fluid and blood and things like that, it can take a while to filter through all of those eggs. So I was like, oh, 38, that is a lot. Okay. And she was like, I'll call you. She said, I'll call you later on today. If not today, then I'll call tomorrow to let you know the final count of how many we got. And I was like, okay, that made me feel better. But I know my retrieval, it took over an hour. Well, no. They told me it would take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes, something like that. And mine took 55 minutes. And so I was like, oh, okay. But I know I did have a lot of follicles, a lot of eggs. So yeah, the next day I did get the call, and the final number of the eggs was 33. So we got 33 eggs. As to why I felt so horrible after the retrieval, I already gave y'all that video, so you know how I felt. So yeah, so my clinic does not do everyday updates as far as the embryos are concerned. So they tell you how many eggs you got the day of retrieval, and then the next day they tell you how many fertilized. And after you find out how many fertilized, you have to wait until that 6th day to find out how many were able to be frozen. So my mind was just all over the place trying to figure out how many eggs I had, how many we were gonna have based upon the number of total eggs that we got. I was on what is the app, Glow? I was on there looking to see how those ladies came out by the number of eggs that they had. I was looking on YouTube. I was trying to keep myself busy, but at the same time it was a little hard. But I was okay because I was trying to deal just with my body adjusting from retrieval. It was a lot. So Thursday they called me, because my retrieval was on Friday, and they called the next day to tell me the total eggs. Oh, and they did tell me how many fertilized. So out of those 33 eggs, 24 of them fertilized. So that was the next day report. 24 of them fertilized. And then from the 24 at freezing, they were able to freeze 14 embryos. We had a doctor's appointment at suppression check to get ready for our FET. And I asked her, I was like, what's the grades? What's the grades of the eggs? Because I didn't get the update. So she did give me that. I wrote it down on the paper, so I have to give you that information a little bit later. So yeah, we got 14 embryos, 14 blastocysts, I would rather say, because they are not embryos anymore. They're blastocysts. So yeah, we got 14 frozen. We don't know the genders. We didn't do PGS testing because there was so much mixed reviews. I'm pretty sure if you're on this journey, you are well aware of the yes and the no's. And, you know, I hear so much as far as good embryos being thrown away, saying that they're abnormal. And they're really not. I mean, you got to think about it. Our bodies are imperfect. So what on us really is perfect? Nothing. So trying to figure out if these 5-day, 6-day-old embryos are perfect or not. Majority of the time, a lot of them are not going to be. We really wanted, and I said that to say that we really wanted a boy. We didn't do the PGS testing. That's the only reason why we wanted to do the PGS testing, but it was getting so expensive that it was just almost ridiculous. I was just like, no. My husband was over it past the $4,000. He was like, no, And I was like, well, yeah, I want to do it. And then she was like, well, your insurance is not going to cover this, so you have to pay this too. And I was just like, it's okay. It's okay. Because the amount of money that they were wanting, that would have took us well beyond 2 and 3 years of the baby being born. So to me, it just didn't make sense to pay that money. So we'll be surprised. We'll pray for a boy because that's what we really want. And if we get it, then we do. So yeah, so right now I am preparing for my frozen embryo transfer. We do have a date of September the 3rd. You know, but that could change. You know, it's a tentative date, so it's not set. We have went in for the suppression check. Well, first of all, we had to do birth control again. I think I did like 16 days of the birth control pills, and then I started Lupron. And it was like 10 units at first, but after the suppression check, we dropped down to 5 units of Lupron, and we are doing the patches also. So that's where we are now. I have another doctor's appointment on Tuesday the 27th. We'll go back to do an ultrasound and blood work to make sure that my lining is good, and my level, my estradiol level, to see where that is. And then we'll get another calendar with the set date of our transfer date. So right now, I hope it stays at the 3rd. I'm pretty excited, counting down the days. So yeah, that's where we are right now. I got a little organizer to put all my medicine in because before it was just all on the counter everywhere, and if anybody was to come over, they would have to use the girls' bathroom. Like, they could not use our bathroom because all the medicine in there, it just looks like somebody's about to die soon. So so I needed an organizer to put all this stuff in there. We went and picked one up a couple of days ago. It's pretty bunky. I don't like it. I think I should have got the smaller one, because after we're done with all of this, I don't know what we're gonna do with it. I've seen some other YouTubers having this same container. It makes it easy, but I just don't like that big bunky thing in my bathroom. I'll show you guys. Okay, so here is the container that we're using. It has all my little needles. This is going to be for drawing up the progesterone. These, what is this? 18 gauge, 1.5 inch. And then these are going to be used for absolutely nothing. And I'll tell you why. These are from the other injections for manicure and all of that. Okay. So these are what, well, actually, no, these are going to be used for absolutely nothing as well. These are the 25 gauge, 1.5 inch needles. Now these are the 22 gauge, 1.5 needles. These are actually supposed to be for the progesterone and oil, but I'll tell you why in just a second. Those are not, neither one of those are going to be used. So this second drawer is all of my syringes. This is what I'll be using for my progesterone. This is what came to use for my progesterone. As you can see, it's a ton of needles for this progesterone, because you know you take it for so long. These are the insulin needles. This is what I'm currently using for my Lupron. I'm down to 5 units. You can't see, I'm not used to holding it this way, but I'm down to 5 units. So really, I have to, forgive me, y'all. I'm down to 5. If I was down to, I probably should have started using these way before now, just because it has 10 units. I should have been using this when I had 10 units to take. But since I'm down to 5, I have to be like, okay, so that's 10. And it's like 6 lines before the 10. So my 5 would be right here. And it's a little markers there to tell you what it is. But you know what? For some reason, these insulin needles hurt so much more than these other ones. And I cannot stand it. I didn't mind giving myself my shot when I was using these needles right here. Ladies, if you're going through this, make sure you get these needles, because these don't hurt. The needle on these other ones, like these came in like a pack, and I opened the pack and that was it. But these are individually wrapped. These are the better ones here that's individually wrapped. They don't hurt. I know every time you go into a container, the thing, it does the needle. So if you can, make sure you get this brand here. It's called Monojet. This brand is trash. Does it even have a brand? I don't know. But anyway, and I have my estradiol patches. Let's see if I can find the one that's open. Okay, so this is the one that's open. That's what the little packs look like. I don't know why they come in this big old packet, because you can see the outline of how small they really are. Really small. So right now I'm up to 3. I started putting on 3. I started putting on 3 just yesterday. So yeah, this is the progesterone that I'll be taking. Let me see if I can get it out of this box to show you. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I know I watched so many videos and I was like, oh, this progesterone, let's see how it looks, but nobody ever really shows it. So here, for all of you guys that are curious like me, that's going to be doing this soon, I wanted to see how thick it was. I wanted to just see it because I wanted to know what I'll be doing. So yeah, this is the progesterone. I don't know how many units of this I'll be injecting. Progesterone injection. This is the label. So 10 mLs equals 5 mg micrograms. Okay, it says for intramuscular use only. Going back to why I said that these needles would be used for absolutely nothing is because, okay, so here they are. So these needles here are the 28, or no, 18 gauge, 1.5 inch. See how thick that is? That is for the drawing up of the progesterone. That is what you use to draw the medicine up. Nobody ever really talks about this. I'm going to touch on it. Okay. these pink, in my IVF class, the nurse was like, pink is for hurt. So you never inject with the pink needles. So these are always for drawing up. See how thick they are? Like, so thick. Why would I want to inject with anything like this? Okay, but I've seen some ladies, like, on Instagram, I just type in PIO injection, and like pictures of these big needles girls are getting injected with, and they're bleeding really bad. And I was like, whew, I didn't want to do that. And I asked my nurse, I'm like, man. But anyway, so these are the other needles. These are the ones that you're actually supposed to inject with. Okay. And I am not going to inject with these at all, because when I called to order my medicine, I called my pharmacy and I asked, I was like, hey, you know, what's the smallest needle that we could use for an intramuscular injection? And they contacted the pharmacy, got the pharmacy on it, asked them that question, and they said the smallest intramuscular needle, or smallest needle that can be used for intramuscular, is the 25 gauge blue. Remember this, blue. Okay, here's the needle, blue. It's really small. It's so much smaller. Look at that. So much smaller compared to this one. So you see this? See that one? I wish I could hold them up side by side, but you can see the difference there of the thickness, I think, because I can. So now they sent me these blue ones, and I was like, okay, I'll use these blue ones. But I get on YouTube again, and I see girls, I see this blue one, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it's a different needle. I don't have to use the gray, I don't have to use the pink. So I see this blue needle, but I don't see that many people using it. So at my suppressing check for my FET, as we're preparing, I asked my nurse, I'm like, hey, so, because she told me that I needed, she told me that I need the 22 gauge and to order that one. And so when I got there, I was like, because I didn't want them to be surprised, or I didn't want to hold anything out on them. You know, I wanted to tell them what I'm thinking, you know, because I'm going to be doing this for quite a bit, and I don't want anything to go wrong. So I was upfront. I was like, hey, when I called to order my progesterone and the estrogen patches, I asked what's the smallest needle that I could use for an intramuscular injection, and they told me the 25 gauge, and I had them send it out. And I said, is that okay? She was like, yeah. She was like, you actually can use that needle. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell me, girl? So I was like, now look, I said, I ordered that needle, and it's a 1.5 inch. But after ordering that, I saw some girls that were using a 1 inch needle. I said, is there a reason why I'm using the 1.5? She was like, nope, you are totally okay to use a 1 inch needle. So these will actually go to waste too, because unless I run out or something like that of the 1 inch needed, I will be using these if I run out. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to Walgreens and get a 1 inch intramuscular needle of this 25 gauge. So she told me normally they always order this 22 inch or 22 gauge needle, because the majority of the women that come in for FET, now this is not against anybody or anything like that, that they are on the larger side. And I guess it's a lot, you know, of fatty tissue to get to the muscle. So the needle needs to be a little bit longer, but I am very small. As you can see, I don't know why I'm looking pregnant, y'all, but that's not really a good angle. But I'm small. I don't really have a lot of fat back there to get to. So the 1 inch needle, she said, will be fine. So that's what I'm gonna get. So yeah, that is all I have for you now. So how many eggs we get, and preparing for our FET, or showing you my medicine or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So hopefully it won't be so long when I get to talk to you again. All right, I hope you have a great day. See you later. Bye.